I'm Lainey Lamar, and when my husband is out of town, you're going to find soup takeout containers in the trash. It's like a money-back guarantee that I will order some kind of fancy, oversized soup, and the longer he's gone, the more containers there will be. Is it 110 degrees outside? Cool story, bro. I'm still ordering soup. I love soup. I also love examples, and today we're going to do sort of a case study because I want you to really immerse yourself with how you would approach improving one of your own digital marketing campaigns, and examples are your best friend for doing that. This is Oh My Growth, the podcast for online business owners who want to better plan and forecast their results, but definitely don't want to have to become an analyst to do it, which is cool because I'm like your remote integrator over here, and I handle all that stuff so that you can make all the very boss decisions about what you're going to do to create your next best month, launch, or collaboration. We're talking about Oh My Growth moments, boss, and that's what this whole podcast is dedicated to delivering to you. So let's do this. This is an opportunity for you and I to channel all of that forensics knowledge we've acquired from listening to true crime podcasts and watching creepy whodunit shows on Netflix, because today we're going to investigate our marketing campaigns. Now, consider this a continuation of the last episode where we looked at the issues you may be having with your performance based on where the problem is. But what we didn't talk about is how you're going to figure out where that problem is. So we're going to talk about it here. Now, when it comes to being less than satisfied with our results, we tend to make assumptions about what the problem is or what it was. But when we actually map out and look at the numbers, we often see that something else was going down than what we assumed. Let's deep dive into my favorite time, example time, because this discussion will offer way more context with a sort of case study. Let's say you're hosting a webinar where you will be pitching a paid offer to the attendees at the end of the training, and you had hoped this would convert to 100 sales. But instead, you only made 50 sales. Womp womp. But sales made, or not made in this case, is not the whole picture of what transpired here. If you're looking to improve your bottom line, you're going to have to map out what happened between the top of your campaign and that bottom line that you're not so stoked about. So what you're going to need to know are: how many people signed up to attend your webinar? This is going to help you understand how engaged your traffic sources are with your free offer. You're also going to want to know how many people clicked through to the sales page you pitched at the end of the webinar. This will help you understand how interested your people are in what you have to offer beyond what you've already taught them. And finally, you're going to want to know how many people purchased the paid offer you pitched. This will help you understand how you're converting to sales. Now, with these 3 data points, you can literally map out your performance in a way that makes your gaps light years easier to identify and makes those opportunities for optimization a whole lot clearer. Because let's go back to our example where you wanted to make 100 sales, but you only made 50. It's great that you know how many sales you made, but you have 2 data points missing before you can start making some data-driven decisions or even assumptions. If we see that 500 people signed up to attend the webinar and you made 50 sales, this means that you have a 10% conversion rate for sales made from webinar attendees. Glasses raised to you for a job well done. Of the 500 people who signed up to the webinar, we see that 110 people clicked through to the sales page we were pitching at the end of the webinar. Now, when you actually map this out, you can clearly see what your options are to work on and improve the sales performance of your future webinars. You could, 1, get more people to see your sales page, because almost half of the people who saw your sales page ended up buying. So this means that if you can get just 2% more webinar attendees to click through to your sales page, you'd have 10 extra people who saw that sales page. And with all the other numbers remaining the same, that 2% increase in sales page views would mean almost 5 additional sales for you. But in this case, you're not looking for 5 more sales. You're looking for 50 more sales, right? So where else can we improve here? 2, get more sales page visitors through to checkout. Now, there are a lot of things you could do to improve how your sales page is performing, including easier checkout process, better sales copy, increased calls to action, among an endless number of other possible actions you could take. But in this case, there is no way you can improve your sales page performance in a way that would help you meet your goals. Even if you improved your sales page click-throughs by 10%, which is a tall order, you'd still only have 60 sales at the end of the day. And this would set you 40 sales behind where you wanted to be. You would literally have to have more than 90% conversion rate on your sales page to meet your goals. And I think you'd probably have a better chance of wrangling a unicorn than converting 90% or more of your sales page visitors to sales, just saying. In this specific case, I would suggest that the reason you're falling short of your sales goals isn't because of your sales process. After all, we've mapped this out and we can see that the types of improvements we're looking for won't be achieved by improving our sales process numbers. So instead of this being a sales process issue, I would suggest you have a traffic issue. Which brings us to 3, get more traffic to the webinar sign-up page. With these results, you would have needed 1,000 people to sign up for the webinar in order to make those 100 sales you were pining for. And in this case, getting that sign-up page in front of more people is where I would focus on optimizing. Which means we need to add 2 more data points to this collection. We're going to want to know, how did people find my sign-up page for the webinar? This is going to help you identify your traffic source patterns and performance. And then you're going to want to know, how many people did your webinar sign-up page attract? This will help you understand how your different traffic sources are being made aware of your offer. Because if we need to double the amount of people who signed up to the webinar, we're going to have to better understand which traffic sources were your most popular, which didn't perform so well. Why do you think that is? What type of content did well? Are there ways you could redistribute the time, effort, or money you're investing for where your traffic is coming from in a way that would be more reflective of where your best gains are? Like, for instance, if you're spending a lot of time on Instagram, but nobody's coming from Instagram, is there somewhere else that Instagram time would be better spent? What can you do that would get you and that webinar sign-up page in front of more eyeballs? The whole deal with knowing your numbers is to understand how to put them to work for you, like we did with this example. It's one thing to collect data, but to get anything out of it, you do have to interact with it and ask it questions. And if you don't know where to start, well, this podcast episode is a great place to start. Map out each phase of your sales process. Collect your relevant performance metrics at each phase, and then stop at each phase to ask,
if I improve this by 1%, how would that impact my results?
Likewise, if you had expectations for your launch or your evergreen sequence or your month, and they didn't work out the way you hoped, draw out your performance. Clock in those performance metrics, and then reverse engineer how you could have made that happen, which is essentially what we did here. And then the next time around, you know what numbers you'll need to hit at each phase of your sales process to ensure you do hit your goal. Or you may shift how you're framing your goals once you actually understand how your performance trends work. And this is why I've been a broken record over these last few episodes about this next point. But look, choose a lane, pick a lane. You will not be improving all of the phases of your sales process all at once. If you want to get results on repeat, you have to be intentional about what you have to offer and how you're tracking those offers, what sales and marketing strategies you're using to support your offers, and how each phase of those strategies are performing. And finally, which traffic sources you're promoting those offers to and investing your strategic efforts into. But again, I remind you, change does not necessarily equal improvement. And this is why, before you make any changes, you establish the conversion rates against which you will measure whether your improvements have been effective or not. Now, if you need help with any of this, let me remind you that I quite literally wrote the book on getting results on repeat. So that's what I called it. And you can get your copy of Results on Repeat by clicking on the link in the show notes. And I know some of you are visual learners out there. So in addition to having me in your ear holes, I recommend you give me a follow over on Instagram, or better yet, TikTok. Links to both of those are also in the show notes. But I'm cuckoo for workflows and process maps, and I'll map an optimization process right in front of you, just like that, in front of everyone on the TikToks. But for real, you don't actually need to know #all the things to kick it into high optimization mode. And this doesn't have to be overcomplicated. You literally can grab a cocktail napkin, draw out your little sales and sign up pages, and jot down a few key numbers. And the process of doing that, knowing that, will account for 80% of anything you'll ever need to know about your performance and how to optimize it. But the more intentional you are about your tracking, and the better you understand how your sales process is set up to work, the easier it is for you to set yourself up for success and set up your outcomes to generate results on repeat. Talk soon. Bye.